Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe a recent exciting campaign you've worked on?
Yeah, for sure. We are working with a company called Vivro. They're North America's leading sustainable water solution. They're based here in Vancouver. And we recently organized an event for them at Tality Spa in Mount Pleasant. So if you're not familiar with Tality, they have cold plunges and a sauna. So that's one of the reasons we chose to do the event there, it tied into the water theme. And one of the cool things about Vivro is that they have an in-house water sommelier, which is very interesting. So we invited some local media and influencers down to Tality a couple weeks ago and held a water tasting for them, where they got to sample 4 different types of water. And Vivro's water sommelier talked about the differences between the different types of water. She also just imparted some general water knowledge upon them. And then after, the guests were able to enjoy the spa services. So that was a fun campaign. Really, the purpose of it was brand awareness, getting the Vivro name out there to some new audiences. And yeah, I'd say we were successful in that. It was well received by the guests and the client.
Perfect. Yes. It sounds very interesting because a lot of times we think of a wine sommelier, so not necessarily
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, it's very unusual, but super interesting.
And were you able to taste some of the differences in the water when you did some of the tasting?
I didn't actually do the tasting, but they just had like tap sparkling, still unbottled, and she kind of explained, yeah, what causes the differences in taste. It was interesting to learn.
Oh, no, for sure. And obviously, it's very unique. And going back to the strategic planning process you mentioned earlier, can you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit more about what their goals were and maybe how you'll be measuring some of the KPIs against the event or maybe some future initiatives you'll be having?
Yeah, for sure. So, for that one, again, it was really more about brand awareness. We had for specific KPIs, a number of guests that we wanted to attend. And then also based on that, we kind of estimated what we could expect to see in terms of coverage, more so from the influencers that attended. So we kind of summed up what we estimated the reach of that to be, put that in numbers, and then that's kind of how we measure. And then it's tough with PR because it really is an imperfect science tracking brand awareness. There's really no perfect way to do it. And because it is over time, it's hard to actually understand, but we do the best we can with the tools we have. And that's how we measured that for this particular campaign.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate the transparency, especially when it's often an integrated effort, so it's hard to
Mhm.
kind of attribute it just to PR or some
Yeah.
other things they have going on. But it sounds like it was a successful and great event. So, and again, making sure we have the right KPIs for the right tactics is really important. Um, Hot topic, obviously AI.
Yes.
How is AI changing your work?
Yeah, great question. It's definitely already started to change our processes. At Talk Shop, we are committed to being a forward-thinking agency. So we have adopted an AI tool in-house, which we use to streamline our work and just enhance the speed and the quality of work we're doing for our clients. But that said, we also understand that while AI can help us operate more efficiently, we still need to apply our own expertise and counsel our clients in ways that only a human can. So there's definitely a level of discernment and human oversight that's necessary. But I do find it super helpful. One of my favorite uses for AI, if I'm putting together a briefing document for a client. So anytime we secure a media interview for a client, we will put together a comprehensive briefing for them, which contains interview details, the scope and context of the interview, and will also always include anticipated questions because reporters typically won't provide them ahead of time. And I found AI super helpful to help brainstorm potential questions a reporter might ask. So recently, we landed an interview for one of our cybersecurity clients about Taylor Swift ticket scams. So I might just plug in something like act as a consumer reporter. You're interviewing a cybersecurity expert about Taylor Swift ticket scams ahead of her concert in Vancouver. What are the top 10 questions you would ask? But then with that, again, just, it's not just a simple copy and paste. We're still reviewing. Is there something that shouldn't be in here? Is there something that's not in here that should be? But overall, I enjoy it. I really like the improved writing tool as well. I tend to be an oversharer and write lengthy emails, so it helps me condense my thoughts and keep things concise. But I also try not to overuse AI because I don't want to become reliant on it. I want to keep my brain working. So it's definitely kind of towing that fine line.
Absolutely. Especially your last point, I think this cannot be underemphasized. It's all about balance. And like you, I'm an overshare, overthinker sometimes, and just kind of having the tools are helpful, but knowing how and when to use them is really important. In light of that, you share some of the positives of AI, how you're using it to streamline your processes. How concerned are you that AI may be replacing some of the jobs that humans do in communications?
Yeah, another really good question. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm not too concerned at this stage about AI replacing our work. I think if it can help automate some of the more mundane tasks like building accurate and up-to-date media lists, then great. But ultimately, our clients are coming to us for our expertise, and we can counsel them in ways that only a human can, so far. But I just think like in a crisis, would you want AI to be guiding you and supporting you through it? No, I don't think so. So I don't think it can replace the strategic insight we have. In as PR professionals, we're also accounting for the future when we're putting together strategies for our clients. We're kind of forward looking. We know and breathe the landscapes our clients work in, and we apply that context to everything we do. So I do believe that's work that only we as humans can do. We've really established relationships with both our clients and the media that can't be replaced by AI. We nurture these relationships and build that trust and connection over time. So yeah, I don't see it replacing our work yet. Changing it, yes. Replacing it, no. But I mean, yeah, who knows what the future holds.
Absolutely, and totally agree with you that there's things that personal touch we obviously can't. It would be hard for an AI agent to just copy, and that's what makes us different as humans and stand out. So we do want to maintain that level of personal touch and relationships. Obviously, no one knows what the future holds, but if you were to look in your crystal ball, how do you see the kind of work you're doing changing in the next 10 years?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. I think we will continue to see more AI, increased use of it, especially to automate those routine tasks, like I said, media list building, media monitoring, reporting, which would free us up to focus on more strategic and more creative work. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Other than that, I think we'll see for sure new social media platforms. Thinking about, 10 years ago, TikTok didn't exist, and now we've seen its rise over the last few years. And I'm sure other platforms will take its place in the future, which, may open up new doors in different ways of storytelling to digital audiences. So that will be interesting to see. Um, and then beyond that, I do think just more integrated campaigns. I think integration between digital and social and marketing and those lines will continue to blur. And yeah, just a need to adapt constantly. But I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Exciting for sure. And yeah, obviously, that's a great segue into the next question I have, which is how do you keep yourself connected in this ever-changing industry?
Yeah, keeping up with news and trends is so important, especially in a PR agency, working with clients in so many different industries. You really have to be across what's happening, not just in one sector, but across many different industries. So, I really just recommend reading as much as you can, absorb everything, sign up to newsletters, listen to podcasts, keep up with the news. Um, yeah, I think just really absorbing as much as you possibly can. I saw something actually in a newsletter this morning that said something along the lines of it was career advice saying adopt the mindset of a continuous learner and diverse your experience and skills. And I would totally agree with that. I think just to stay up to date, it's really just all about learning as much as you can. And yeah.
Excellent, definitely. And obviously, part of this podcast is is helping our audience learn a little bit more about this ever-changing industry. So again, really appreciate you sharing all of your valuable insights. You've shared some advice already. What other advice would you give to someone who is looking to start off their career in PR and marketing? Sorry, PR and communications.
Yeah, 100%. I'd say lean on your existing connections, even if they're loose ties, if it's, a friend of a friend of a friend or your old neighbor or someone you met one time that mentioned they work for a company you're interested in, just lean on whatever connections you have, reach out to them. But also networking and making new connections. Many jobs are landed through those in-person connections. I've had many phone conversations and in-person coffees with people who've reached out to me on LinkedIn. And that's such a great place to start and build your network and make those connections. Research the companies you would want to work for or be interested in working for and find people who work there that you can reach out to. Ask them for a quick chat, an informational interview, and I think people are generally very willing to help. Um, I know this is easier said than done, but I think if you can find an internship, it is such a great way to gain that real world experience and get your foot in the door. And yeah, as I said before, just read as much as you can and keep up with the news in whatever industry it is that you're looking to get into. A really common interview question when I was interviewing for jobs was, where do you get your news from? So just making sure you can answer that honestly. Yeah, just really familiarizing yourself with whatever industry it is you're looking to get into.
Great advice. Thanks, Logan. Um, what is the best part of working in communications in Vancouver?
Um, In Vancouver, it's such a hub for so many different industries, like tech, tourism, natural resources. So I think really whatever whatever it is that interests you, there's so many opportunities out there. There's so many events and conferences and meetups. I don't get out there as much as I should. But there really is ample opportunities for networking and professional growth. So, for instance, next year we've got Web Summit Vancouver coming here. It's one of the world's biggest tech conferences. So that will be really great for us since we work with a lot of tech clients. But also, it's just such a beautiful place to live and work. We're fortunate that our office is right by Granville Island. So in the summer, it's honestly nice to just step out and take a breather and, take a little lunch stroll down the seawall or go grab an ice cream by the water and just appreciate how lucky we are to live and work here.